Okay guys, in today's video, we're going to discuss how to deal with sleep apnea without a CPAP machine. But it's important that we understand two key points, right? Before I get into this. You need to understand the difference between snoring and sleep apnea. Now, when you snore at night, every night, I mean, you might snore every once in a while. I guess that could be okay. There could be different factors, different reasons. But if you snore every single night, that means that you're struggling to breathe. And that's not good. Eventually, that can also lead to sleep apnea. So when you're struggling to breathe, that means you're not getting the right type of oxygen. And if you struggle to breathe for too long, for many months and many years, then you can end up getting sick, because your cardiovascular system, composed of arteries and veins, your peripheral nervous system, composed of nerves and muscles, your brain, the vital organs, heart. I mean, you need good amount of oxygen, okay, that can take care of the body, because if not, then you can get in trouble. Okay, now sleep apnea means that you stop breathing. That means that somehow when you were sleeping, your airways close. And that's why you develop an apnea. And usually when that happens, people wake up, because if you don't wake up, then that could be a problem. So now that's what you need to concentrate on. So many people, right, they get diagnosed with sleep apnea and they get prescribed a CPAP machine. Now those things are very, very uncomfortable. It says, I think studies or research points that more than 50% of the people that get prescribed a CPAP machine don't want it, can't handle it, can't use it, won't use it. The other percentage, whether it's 50 or 40%, they cannot handle the treatment, and they end up leaving or suspending the CPAP treatment. And then maybe about 5%, I mean, those that have no other solution, or somehow there's people that can get used to it, and I don't know how they do that, but they get used to it. But what I'm trying to say is that the CPAP, right, what that does is going to force air. So if your airway is closed, it will force air so you don't stop breathing. But that is not the solution. The solution is that you have to know what is the root cause of your sleep apnea. Why are your airways closing? So for instance, if you have sleep apnea and your doctor prescribed a CPAP machine, he should be able to tell you why your airways are closing. Now, if he can't tell you why your airways are closing, then you need to follow up with a sleep medicine dentist, or you need to follow up with an orthodontist, or you're going to have to start doing some research and really paying attention to what's going on with you, so you know exactly why are your airways closing. Now, if you're able to keep your airways open when you are sleeping, that would be the solution. And today we're going to discuss one key product that can help you with that. Now listen, once you understand why your airways are closing, then you need to attack it. So let's discuss a few ways why your airways might close. But first, let's discuss how we should not sleep and how we should not breathe. First of all, we should never sleep on our backs, especially if we have this kind of condition. Because if we sleep on our backs, we're gonna have the tendency, or with a flat pillow. We sleep on our backs with a flat pillow, right? We're going to have the tendency of breathing through our mouth. So we want to be able to sleep on the side. It's not good to sleep on your back. Sleep on the side, a little elevated, and you want to be able to breathe through your nose. You don't want to breathe through your mouth. Mouth breathing, it's really, really, really bad for you. And if you breathe through your mouth, most likely you are going to snore. So you can't mouth breathe, and you cannot sleep on your back, because then it's going to prone you to open up your mouth. So you got to be able to sleep correctly, and you got to be able to breathe through your nose. Those are the two key components. Sometimes it could be easier said than done, but you have to train yourself and learn how to sleep correctly. Your position is really, really important. So then what happens is this, that when you breathe through your mouth as a young child, Sometimes you can develop asthma, you can develop gingivitis, you can develop tooth decay, but above all, you start developing an overbite. And when you get older, and if you have this overbite, what that's going to do, right, is going to position, when you have an overbite, it positions the bottom jaw all the way in the back of your throat. And what that's going to do, what that overbite is going to do, is going to limit your airways. And then if you start now, if you have an overbite and you start breathing through your mouth at night and you're not sleeping in the right position, then your airways can close. That's basically what was going on with me. And well, I figured these things out because there was no doctor in this world that can really explain that to me. And then what happens is if you start breathing through your mouth and you start developing sleep apnea, then you can end up with cardiovascular disease. You can develop anxiety, high blood pressure, and that was my issue. So that's the thing. Sleeping and breathing is the most important thing that we could do for our health. We got to be able to sleep correctly, and we got to be able to breathe correctly. So what happens if you do not want to wear a CPAP? What are the solutions? Remember, if you have a CPAP, that means you went to an ENT doctor. The ENT doctor, what he's going to do, he's going to give you a sleep study, and depending on that, then he will figure things out. But he should be able to at least tell you if you have any breathing obstructions when it comes to your nose, when it comes to your throat. Okay, if you're okay and it's just the fact that your airways are closing, then there are many other solutions. Now, the one solution that you could do, right, is that you can go to a sleep medicine dentist and they can develop a dental appliance that could push your bottom jaw forward, and that can help you maintain your airways open while you sleep. Now, I did get one of those, but what happens is those are a little bit somewhat uncomfortable, and I really didn't wear it. But another thing that you can do is you can go to an orthodontist, and if you can qualify, if you have an overbite, or then they can fix that overbite. But if you don't have an overbite, maybe a slight overbite, and your airways are still closing for some other particular reason, right? Then maybe they can construct a retainer. A retainer will definitely keep your bottom jaw fixed, and it won't fall back, and your airways will close. Because the bottom line is, if you could breathe during the day, okay, and you don't have a problem breathing, but it's at night that you get in trouble, and that was my issue, then you got to be able to keep those airways open. So there you go. So a dental appliance by a sleep medicine dentist, they can give you one, and you'll be okay with that. You can go to an orthodontist, they can fix your bite, and that they can open up your airways. Now you don't have to deal with no CPAP. Number two, and number three, the orthodontist, let's just say that maybe you don't qualify for orthodontic work because maybe you have weak bone structure, then they can build you a retainer, and that will help your bottom jaw fix where it doesn't fall back. A lot of people use sleep apnea tape, right? So what they do is they put the sleep apnea tape on their mouth. It prevents them from opening their mouth, because now you're in a good position, and if your mouth is closed, then you're not going to breathe through your mouth, then you can avoid catching an apnea. That's the last thing you want, because that means that when you catch an apnea, then you stop breathing. So the bottom line is this, that when we sleep, how can we keep your airways open? We discussed a few ways, okay? And now we discussed the first way was that CPAP machine, but the CPAP machine is not keeping your airways open. The CPAP machine is just going to force air, so you don't stop breathing. And that's not the solution. That's not tackling the root cause. So you got to be able to understand the root cause, and you got to be able to find a solution for the problem. So the product that I'm going to introduce right now, right, it can help you sleep comfortable. It's not a CPAP, it's not a dental brace, it's not Invisalign, it's not orthodontic work, it's not any of that. But it can push your jaw forward, your bottom jaw forward, and you can sleep comfortable, and it will maintain your airways clean. I'm going to bring the product right now. All right, guys. So what I'm holding here is a sleep apnea neck brace. So when you put this on, it's going to push your bottom jaw forward, and it will prevent your bottom jaw from falling back and your airways from closing. I have used it numerous times, and it's also a therapeutic component, an exercise component, and a lot of people are using this. When I first found out about it, because I'm always looking for new things to deal with my sleep apnea, I bought it, and it's been a changer. I feel confident, although my sleep apnea is under control, because like I said before, one of the things that I was doing was sleeping on my back and breathing through my mouth. I don't breathe through my mouth anymore. I breathe through my nose. I don't have any breathing obstructions. I went to an ENT doctor, and I'm okay. So I'm going to put this on, and then I'll show it to you. I'll show you how this works. Okay. So now I have the sleep apnea neck brace. It's really, really comfortable. It's going to improve your neck posture. And that's one of the things that I discussed before. See, people that have sleep apnea, I'm pushing down a little bit because I'm speaking. People that have sleep apnea sometimes develop a bad posture in their cervical spine when it comes to their neck. Okay, so this is going to enhance. It's going to put your neck in a good neutral position, not in a sleep apnea position. It's going to push your bottom jaw forward when you sleep, right? So what's going to happen is that once you go to sleep, it's going to prevent your bottom jaw from falling back. It's going to prevent your airways from closing. And then you won't catch an apnea. Your airways won't close. So if your airways do not close, then to worry about. So that's the main thing. Finding the root cause of why you have a sleep apnea. Now, usually they say that those that have sleep apnea is because they are overweight, and that's not the main reason. The number one hidden reason is, it was my reason, it's having an overbite. And then obviously you have bad sleeping habits. And then you can have breathing obstructions. That's why you have to go to the ENT doctor, and so he can check if you have any breathing obstructions when it comes to your nose. When it comes to your throat, they need to check the uvula. Okay, that's a piece of tissue that hangs along the soft palate of your mouth. An ENT doctor, without me getting much into this, he will check everything. That's what you need to know. If you have any breathing obstructions, if you do have a breathing obstructions, then you need to take care of them. The bottom line is this: listen, you have to be able to breathe and sleep accordingly, and you have to be able to breathe through your nose. If you can't breathe through your nose, then you have to have some sort of solution. I mean, sometimes there's people who have no solution whatsoever. And then those who have no solution, then they have to have a CPAP. But that's only about 5 to 2% need a CPAP machine. Listen, if I didn't do my own research, if I didn't read, if I didn't believe that, you know what, then I would have been in a CPAP. And that would have not been the lasting solution, because I needed to find out what was the root cause. I knew, then I found out the root cause. I took care of all these causes, and then now I have to use different types of components. And I'm going to show you something else that could be key to your sleep apnea. Okay, so what I'm holding here, guys, is a cervical traction. It occurred to me a while ago that one of the best things that you could do when you have sleep apnea, right? If you do your research, you're going to learn that one of the best things we could do is we want to improve our neck posture. Now, as we get older, right, our cervical spine is going to shrink because we start developing bad posture. So one of the key ways to be able to enhance and open up our airways is to develop good posture, to stretch our neck. It's like a therapeutic exercise, and this cervical traction will be able to do that. You know, there's various cervical contractions. I got this from a medical supply company. I wanted to test it, so they just gave it to me for free. And I'm going to show you how it works. Very easy to put on, okay? Now, all you have to do is pump it. Okay, so now my neck is stretching, okay? And I wanted to do that because who's going to stretch your neck? This will do it, right? And what that's going to do is going to enhance your posture. It's going to help you open up your airways. It's going to help you push your bottom jaw forward. And it's a good therapeutic exercise that you could do when it comes to sleep apnea. And face it, if you know you're getting older, we're not getting any younger, right? So our posture on the neck is going to suffer a little bit. But this is a good therapeutic exercise. I could do more, right? Then you feel the neck stretching, because who's going to stretch the neck for me? You need a cervical traction. Is a good exercise you do. You could do it sometimes before you go to sleep, and you could do it sometimes during the day, like I'm doing now. So, and it's really easy for this thing to come off. It's deflating now, and then all you got to do is just take it off. But you got to be able to take care of your neck posture. A lot of people that have sleep apnea, they develop bad neck posture. A lot of people that have an overbite, then they develop. But the bottom line is that you got to be able to learn the root cause of your sleep apnea, and don't think that the only solution is CPAP machine, because it is not. The CPAP is not the solution. You need to understand what's your root cause, and then you attack the root cause. If you have excessive tissue there, and that's the thing, the ENT doctor will be able to tell you that. But anyways, I'm just making this video and trying to make it as simple as possible. If you want to, please subscribe to the channel, press a like, comment, ask me as many questions as you want. And what we're going to do is, for the time being, we're going to concentrate a lot on when it comes to sleeping disorders, when it comes to sleep apnea, how to keep airways open. And we're going to discuss everything that's out there in the market. So if you don't know how to do research, then this channel will do the research for you. But anyway, guys, with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.